Hey guys, it's 8 o'clock, so I'm going to get started. Thanks for being on time, and I'm excited to get going. Welcome to our Monday night FlexForce team call. This is going to be one for the books. I hope you guys have your notebooks ready, pen ready, get ready to learn and take action. That is the season of our business that we're in right now, is a season of action, showing up every single day, even when it's hard, so that there's so many people out there who throw in the towel at the end of the year. There are people who don't, which I'll show you in a second, but there are so many people who, have the mindset, obviously, new year, new them, whatever, and you have to earn those people's trust right now. Showing up when it's hard is building trust and credibility. You could have the best excuse in the world, but if you ghost on your social media right now, all it shows you're following is that you are inconsistent and not trustworthy as they go into something that's really might be really scary for them. So show up now, put in the work now. We are in a season of push and a season of work. This is Q4. It's not time to do all the trainings. Team calls are going to fill your cup to the max, and then it's go time. So I'm going to hop right into our few announcements, and then we'll get rocking. Make sure it's at the top while people roll in here. Okay, so way to go, everybody, on the October leaderboard. This is obviously displayed in the team page, but congratulations to everybody that hit their business minimum of helping at least 3 people. And I'm excited for November. Shout out to people that have already helped some people. There are people who are looking for a year-end resolution, and these points are not, they're the best I could do. The points are lagging in the back office like crazy. So, this isn't super accurate, but it's as close as I can get, and I'll obviously update them weekly up on the board. And a special shout out to, I highlighted our coach of the week, Emmy, because she has just been seeing results in her business. She had Success Club for the first time last month, and when I gave her some love, what she had to say back was, "Thank you, I've just been putting in the work." And that's what it is. This business is very simple. We just have to show up and do the things. It's easy to do, but it's easy not to do the things. So let me run through news stuff real quick. We have 23 new coaches added this week to our team. I want everyone to be shooting for 2 a week. So thank you and congratulations if you're one of the coaches who added to our network this week. And just have that goal in the forefront of your mind. Actually have your goal. I'm sure that I was on the phone with corporate today, and Robbie was saying, he was like, have everyone pick a goal, a year-end goal, and write it everywhere. Get an expo marker, write it on your bathroom mirror, and so you see it all the time. Every time you go to the bathroom, right? And I joked, put it on your car, I think you can get in trouble, so you don't have to put it on your car. But somewhere so that your goals are focused for the end of the year, because it's not always easy to show up after a long day of maybe your full-time job or just whatever life throws at you. But if your goal is front and center, it makes it a little bit easier. It is No Excuses November. Challenge packs are $20 off, which is absolutely crazy. If you're not taking advantage of this, you're absolutely crazy. And sometimes this is why I've already hit Success Club, because I reached back out to all my follow-ups and let them know about this deal. And some people said no, but some people are ready, and some people just needed that push. I had somebody sign up in 1 second that I've been talking to since August. She was like, yep, that's it. That's just sealed the deal for me. So make sure you're taking advantage of that $20 off. That's the biggest sale of the year. And I have not seen something like that in a really long time. Or ever. Transform 20 launch, just be prepared for that. It's coming December 4th. So you've seen I spelled it wrong, but the U and the N look the same. Anyways, make sure you're peeking in on mine, taking whatever you want from me, and I'll be sharing tons and tons more before and after pictures, and you can share those on your social media and stuff too. Just give credit where credit's due. Energized tubes will also launch on December 4th, and that will be really nice for like even just regular water bottles to dump into and not make a huge mess. So that will be really cool repackaging. Beachbody is having a Black Friday sale. I don't know what that will look like. I don't know what things will be on there. They will, when I know, you'll know, but it will be in Coach Breaking News. Make sure you do check your Coach Breaking News, because they are having a flash apparel sale right now, and they have some cute stuff. I just checked it out. And they have a Step It Up program, so that if you sell a challenge pack within the first couple days of the launch, you yourself will be guaranteed a step to purchase. They're kind of worried about running out of steps, which is kind of cool. And then we will do a pre-Black Friday promotion like last time, but it will be before. I want to do it before Black Friday, and so I'll give you details as well. I'll just let you know when it's going to be. But it will be the same group as last time if you were in that group. But just stay tuned for details. Just keep that on your radar. And then make sure in FlexForce Fan, we have the virtual work area. Post call for this. I will hop off and then hop back on. And it will be, I will do this weekly, and you can, get back on and you can ask me anything. And you can stay and listen to other people's questions, or you can just ask your question and go. It doesn't matter. But it'll be some work time. We'll just use this one after team calls, this Zoom. Summit, July 11th through the 14th. If you don't know, if you hit Success Club for last month, this month, and December, you get a $200 travel cash. That they've never done that before. That's amazing. Rachel Hollis is going to be there. We'll be an elite team for the first time. And what's so cool, I'm so excited that they will have tracks based on where you're at in your business. So it'll be so individualized. You have not gotten your summit ticket. It's like a job requirement for real. So get your summit ticket ASAP. And now on to the good stuff, right? I'm so excited about our guest speaker tonight, Micah Folsom. I have looked up to Micah since like the beginning of time, or at least since the beginning of me being a coach and knowing who she was. But she is seriously, like, everyone always jokes that Micah is a unicorn because she is just this perfect package of like being an awesome mom and being an awesome business owner. And she's just like has this perfect balance of being a business owner and being a really caring and loving person. She just has that persona. It's her whole life. Like, you can just tell and you talk to her. She just is just a real person. It's just, I don't know. It's refreshing now. Everybody's like that. So I'm going to give her stats, and they're amazing. I'll tell you guys what they mean. So she's like, I don't even want to tell you. Okay, so Micah is 15-star in 2 business centers. That means she has 15 personally sponsored diamonds at least, and it's probably more, in 2 business centers, so 30 there. And I joked that she has a zillion more stars. So she's in other business centers, because you can keep duplicating, you can keep opening them every time a business center hits 2-star. So she's 2-star, 3-star, 6-star. And Diamond, her husband, is 4-star and 1-star. She's like, you don't have to say all of those. But she's a 4-time elite coach, a CAB member, which is the Coach Advisory Board. So she's one of the coaches who's sat in on that, and they have like coaches' best interests, and they communicate with corporate, kind of like, it's like a board, like a middle ground. It's really cool. And Success Club 10 plus for 63 months. That is a lot of consistency, which you guys know I'm like obsessed with. She's a member of the Million Club. She's ranked number 11 right now. It's freaking awesome. And she's a mom of the 4 cutest kids ever. Look how cute her kids are. And they are 9, 7, 3, and 8 months. And people always joke that Micah has like a million kids. That's just because she had one and then like was pregnant again, but they're so cute. Like 4 is a regular number. I think everyone agrees. But I'll stop my share and just turn it over to Micah. Thank you so much for speaking on our team call tonight. We're so excited to have you.
You bet. Can you guys hear me? That is It's always really weird when you have to sit through your own stats because I still feel like a totally normal, like, new coach mode. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, but things have evolved like slowly or just steadily. So it's not like all of a sudden you have all these stats behind you. I'm just doing the stuff that you're doing. So if you stick around long enough and you show up every single day, like, you'll have all these stats behind your name too that are just mumbo jumbo and lead to a really cool life. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Rachel asked me to talk specifically about just kind of that balance of mom life and boss life and figuring out how to do both. And so I have five main tips and things I'm going to talk about. And then I want to open it up for Q&A because I always find that that's the most valuable for my coaches when they get to ask their specific questions. So I don't want to talk forever and then have you not be able to do that. So the first thing, and this isn't even one of my 5 tips, but I was thinking about this as I was coming on, is you have to, how many moms are on the call? Probably a lot. Okay, how many of you work full time? And then how many of you are stay-at-home moms? So there's like a good mix. So this is fine. Just apply it to your life specifically because everyone's going to be different. But first, you have to define what this is. That's the first thing. Because if this is like, it's just kind of an accountability thing, it's a little hobby thing, it's whatever, that's going to look a lot different than if this is the gateway to creating all of the dreams that you have for your family, right? Those are 2 very different things. So you first have to get very clear on your vision, and that's my first point. And you have to include your family in your goals. So if Diamond is your goal, why? Why is Diamond your goal? What does that mean for your family? What does that mean for your kids? What does that mean that you'll be able to do to help alleviate some budget stress? Like, what does that mean in a very tangible, real way? What does it mean to get to 2-star? What does it mean to get to 5-star? Because, like, for me, getting to 15-star, getting to double 15-star, that wouldn't have meant anything. You don't go to bed at night and go, I'm dreaming of being a 15-star diamond. Like, I've always wanted to be a 15-star diamond. No, but you have these goals and these dreams that you want for your family, and also that you want for your coaches' families, and that's kind of part of growing and evolving, is your goals evolve to now you want this for your coach and for your team, and that's why you show up. But you have to make them tangible. So first thing that you have to do is get clear on what you actually want as a mom and as a wife and for your kids. Because life will always get in the way. There will always be crap that shows up that takes priority over this if you let it. But if this is the gateway to achieving the things that are very important to you and that mean the world to you, you will make time. You will carve out the fluffy crap. You will be intentional. You will be disciplined. But until it's real to you, you won't. Everything else will take precedence. Everything else will be more important. And this will take the back burner every single time. Okay? So number 1 is vision. Number 2, you have to learn as a mom and as a wife and as an entrepreneur and as a career woman and whatever else, all the other roles that we have. If we want this to be everything that it can be for us, we have to develop discipline and intentionality so early on. That has to be a huge focus. You have to learn how to carve out the stuff. And I talked about this at Josh's thing. Early on, when my husband was in vet school, I was a wedding photographer running my own business. I had 2 little ones. I think they were 3 or 4 and under. And I was trying to build this. Well, basically it came down to when I was thinking about doing something I'm going to go watch a show, or, I'm going to go hang out with one of my girlfriends, or, I'm going to do a play date, or, I'm going to go shopping, whatever. As soon as something kind of became available to come onto my plate, I went, is this bringing me closer to my goals? And if it was no, then I didn't do it. If it was yes, then it got done. So that's why when I say involving your family in your goals has to be important, because is this bringing me closer to diamond? Well, who cares if it's bringing you closer to diamond? is this bringing me closer to being home with my babies and not having to take them to daycare? That looks a lot different, right? And so you have to, those things go hand in hand. You get clear on your vision, then you have to get so disciplined and so intentional with how you spend your time. And everything serves a purpose. So for a time, and I'm sure Rachel can attest to this, for a time and a phase in your business, there's going to be like massive action, massive hustle, massive sacrifice for a time. But then you get to a point where you can weave the extracurriculars and the free time and those things back into your life. So you have to understand that. I feel like it's so backwards because so many people are like, oh, I'm building this because I want freedom and I want time freedom and I want more time with my family and I want more time and more blah, blah, blah. But then you have like this complex because you're like, but this is taking away from time with my family and this is taking away from, so why would I add this in? But you have to understand that when you take away a little bit of time, like I'm obviously not with my kids right now. My kids are right there. I'm obviously not with my family, but that's why I'm doing this. There's going to be some times when you sacrifice a little bit here to then get to spend the rest of your life exactly how you want to. And I'm sure Rachel's life looks a whole lot different now than it did when she started and she was teaching and she was doing all of those things, right? My life looks a whole lot different now than it would have had I not been so focused, so disciplined, and make those sacrifices. Early mornings, late nights, weaving in the cracks of mom life throughout the day. Like you have to just know your purpose, know your mission, and know your vision, and understand, yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it's going to take sacrifice. Yes, it's going to be absolutely worth it. And you have to have that belief and that confidence that every single day you show up and you put in the work, you're getting closer to your goals. Whether or not you make a challenge pack sale, whether or not you sign a coach, if you do the stuff every day with intention, the right things that Rachel teaches you, you will be closer to your goals, okay? And you have to just know and trust and do, okay? So discipline and intentional. And then I just put short-term sacrifices for long-term freedom because that's 100% what it is. You have to know that short-term, you kind of have to embrace the suck a little bit sometimes. Waking up really, really early isn't always fun. Staying up a little bit later isn't always fun. Not doing some of the things that you like to do because you're working on your business and you're grinding isn't always fun, but it will absolutely be worth it, okay? Number 3, let's talk about mom guilt for a second. So my number 3 point is to delegate anything that you can. And I will be the first to tell you that this was so hard for me. So hard. I was like, I had this complex of, so I was running my photography business only for about 8 months into coaching. And then I was like, I'm done. Like I had matched my income. I was just so overshooting. Like I was so annoyed every time someone would inquire about a shoot or a wedding. And I'm like, okay, this probably isn't what I should be doing if I'm really irritated that they're reaching out for my business. And so that's when I'm like, okay, I'm calling it quits and I'm just going to go all in with this. Well, then all of a sudden it was hard for me because I'm like, hey, well, I'm full-time mom. Like I'm wife and mom first always. And that was my identity and that was my role. And so I didn't want anyone else cleaning for me. I definitely didn't want anyone helping me with my kids because that's why I was doing this. I wanted to be with my kids. I didn't want help with my business because no one could ever do it as good as I could. I'm like a major control freak. And so I was doing all the things and I was legit driving myself crazy. Like I'm like, I can't deal. And so finally I got to a place where I just started delegating little things. And slowly it got easier and easier and easier. So first I thought about, okay, what are the things I hate to do? What are the things that I'm doing because I'm supposed to do it, but I really don't like it? And I really probably don't need to do it. And so the first thing was all the deep cleaning, like the bathrooms, vacuuming, anything like that. And I just started, I think it was once every other week, I would have a girl come and clean the house. That was the first thing. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of nice. I kind of like that. And then I was like, well, maybe I could do stuff for the business. So I thought about what do I not like to do in the business? or what was taking up a lot of time that didn't really like take Micah brain power. And that was like leaderboards and sending emails to leads and doing things that were very like someone else could easily do them. So I delegated that, and it was seriously like 2 hours a week. And so it was like baby steps. And this is when I was, gosh, I should have started so much earlier, you guys. Like my big tip, start as early as you can. Before you feel like I'm ready to delegate, I'm ready, like I make enough that I can afford to do this, you need to do it before that. Because I promise you, if you put time and attention into the actual business building activities, the IPAs, instead of cleaning your house or instead of doing whatever you hate to do, other things, you'll make up that income and then you'll grow that much faster and you don't have to do the things you don't like. So that's how I started delegating, and then it kind of evolved from there. So like when we moved to this house, it was funny because in my Oklahoma house, when my husband was in vet school, we lived in like a 1,000 square foot house. It was teeny. It was always cluttered and stuff because we had way too much stuff for like the area, and we had 2 little kids that were just crazy. And so for a while, I kind of just dealt with like, this is just the phase of life. I'm going to build this. I'm going to deal with some clutter and whatever. But as soon as we moved into this house, I actually cared that it looked good because I really love our house. And I got to a place where for my sanity, I wanted the house clean and in order and all those things. So that's when I delegated more help around the house. So, and then it kind of evolved from there. So my point is, don't be prideful and don't let your ego stand in the way of you getting help. Because if this is important to you, then you need to be doing the most important things to build it, and then you can get help with the other stuff. And P.S., it doesn't suck to not have to do any of the things you don't like. So like now I have a girl that does the laundry and she does the dishes and she comes and helps do all the daily cleaning. And she plays with my crazy 3-year-old while I have scheduled work hours, because this is my job. Like I've come to accept I love being a mom, but my kids drive me crazy too. So I'm like, it's so nice to be able to like work for 4 hours every day and do something that I absolutely love, that fuels me, that fills my cup, and have a break from the crazy for a little bit. Like, and I didn't think I would ever be like that, but like, my kids are crazy. I love them, but they're crazy. So that's been really good for me to have like some peace for a little bit. And obviously I'm here. If they're sick, I'm here. I don't have my scheduled work time. I do mom. But on like a normal day when things are good, she takes care of the cleaning. I do my stuff in here. I do calls. I do whatever. And I schedule everything in there. I only have 1 call a month at nighttime. And that's my PS team call. Everything else is during the day when I have my nanny helper here so I can do stuff, and then I walk out of the office and my house is clean, my kids are happy, and I can mom for the rest of the day, and it's like the best thing ever. So delegate ASAP, okay? My 4th point is to stop blaming the business, okay? So this is like a little bit of tough love. But I want you guys to lean into this, okay? Because if your marriage sucks, it's not because of the business. It's because you're not filling that area of your life. If, whatever, if something sucks, if life gets crazy, if crap happens, it's not because of the business. It's not because you're putting time and effort into the business. It's because of the other things would happen anyways, but this is a really easy thing to blame. So I want you to just like not let yourself ever go there, because I promise you that the more you lean into the business and the more you actually do the things you're supposed to do, personal development, taking care of yourself, growing as an individual, pouring into others, like the more you do the things that are essential, the more you'll grow, the more you'll develop, and those things positively affect your life. So if your marriage is sucking, it's not because of the business, it's because your marriage is sucking. So take care of that and deal with that and pour into that, but you can still do the most essential things here. So I know that lots of my coaches, I'm just speaking from experience because That is the first thing that they say. Oh my gosh, well, it's because of this, that this. And I'm like, no. Like, no. Don't even go there. So I'm just going to throw that in there because I feel like when the kids get crazy or when there's activities or when there's whatever, this is just really easy to blame because it's really easy to take off your plate because it's optional. It doesn't have to get done. But to me, I've kind of always treated my business like I do motherhood. I wouldn't just wake up and leave Finley in a crappy diaper all day long because I didn't feel like changing her. Like, no mom would do that. You change your kids' poop when they poop because that's like your duty, right? Well, our duty as coaches and as mentors is to show up for our challengers. It's to show up for our coaches. It's to show up every single day. And when that's just part of your duty and what you do every day, it takes the option out of it. And when you don't have the option not to show up, you might as well bring joy and you might as well bring passion and you might as well bring positivity so that you actually like what you're doing, right? So just take that off the radar and lean in when you feel like things are sucking, because things will get better if you do the things that we're supposed to do. Okay, and my fifth one is communication is key. And this is absolutely 100% essential with your spouse, with your kids. Like, my kids know if I come into the office, like you saw my daughter come in, they'll come in and out. It's not like when mom's in the office, it's off limits. But they know if I'm in here, it's for a reason. I'm working, I'm being intentional, I'm doing my crap. It's not because I'm just like hanging out with my friends. And so mom has a job. Mom has coaches she takes care of. Mom has, they know a lot of what I do. I bring my daughter to retreats. We bring our kids to events. They're very familiar with what's going on. So it's not foreign to them when I'm on my phone doing something. They're like, oh, mom's working. And then I can unplug and not do stuff. But at the beginning, I struggled with this because I hadn't defined yet what this was for us or what it was for me. And so I was trying to work in the mom cracks and I was trying to do all the things. And I was almost like pretending that I didn't really have a job, but I was still trying to do this stuff. And it was like, my kids were confused. They're like, well, what are you doing on your phone? Why are you like, I hadn't communicated with them. Mom is working. This is my job. I'm able to be home with you all the time because of this. We're able to do things that you love because of this. We're able to go on this vacation because of this. And now they understand, oh, mom's working. She's doing this. And it's not like I'm trying to sneak it in. And I did that at the beginning. And I feel like lots of my coaches have that complex where they're like, but I'm a mom. I don't have a job. I'm home. And I'm like, this is a job. And if you don't treat it like one, you're going to be frustrated because it's going to pay you pennies because you're putting penny work into it. So this all like weaves in. And this comes back to being intentional and being disciplined. Obviously, we could be on our phone all the time. We could be doing all the things all the time because there's always things to do. So this comes down to setting those business hours, being intentional, actually treating this like a job, whether that's 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at lunch, 1 hour at night, 4 hours during the day when your kids are gone. Whatever it looks like, it's great. But line it out, be consistent, and be intentional with that, and make sure that you communicate with your spouse and with your kids when obviously we have calls sometimes at nighttime. Obviously, we have things that kind of get in the way of family time. But if this is important to you, you'll make these things a priority. And obviously I'm speaking to the choir because you guys are on the call, making it a priority and taking time away from your family and those things because it's important to you. So yay for you. But communication, because I feel like that is the one thing that at the beginning when my husband and I, like, there was friction in the marriage and what we were trying to figure out and weave all this in, it was because I just wasn't being open about what this was or what I needed to do and we weren't on the same page. So then there was frustration. So just make sure as you're navigating this opportunity that you're very open with both your kids and your spouse. Okay, I think that's all. I want to leave the rest of the time up to you guys for any specific questions.
Oh my gosh, you guys are already like all fired up. Like, okay, like the mom guilt is stupid, which we know, but now you have ways to push it aside. And yeah, everyone's like, and can I just say thank you we can all agree, like our kids can be really annoying. Like it's part of their make, it's like they're designed to push us. So yeah, like, yeah, I definitely sometimes when I bring Leo to daycare, I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of guilt that I worked hard to be home, but I'm like, I love my 2 days. And it's amazing how fast I can grocery shop without a child.
For real though.
It's like, yeah, I should time the difference. Okay, so who do you got, or ask questions? Just be brave and unmute yourself and ask a question. I know Danielle will ask a question. Someone has to be first. No one ever wants to be first.
I know, that's what my girls do too. And then they all start rolling in.
Yeah, Robin, do you have one?
One person asks.
Yeah, I have one. So my question is, have you always just kind of hit the ground running, or have you had slumps? And like, what did those look like, and how did you kind of like revamp?
Yeah, so, okay. I would say I've never like, obviously like Success Club 10, 63 months, like I've had slumps where it was harder to hit my non-negotiable goals and it was harder to continue to move forward in those things. But I've never just been like, oh, it's just a slump. It's just a phase. I'm going to like ride it out type of thing. Like I see lots of my coaches doing. I'm just speaking from like what I'm like. They're like, oh, I just don't feel like it. I'm in a slump. I'll try better. Like I'll try harder next month. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, that's not how this works. So for me, when I'm in a season of like, I just always talk about the ebbs and flows of the business. Like there's always going to be ups. There's always going to be downs. When you feel like, wow, everyone is saying yes. Everyone is coming around. Everyone is like, everything is just falling into place. And then there's times when you're like, I have done my invites. I've done my follow-ups. I've done my calls to action. I've done my everything I know how to do, and no one is ready. They're all saying next month. They're all giving me objections. And there's times, and I feel those too. But in those times, that's when I have to like really dig in, and it forces me to be creative. It forces me to get outside of my normal, what I normally do, and say, okay, how can I add more value to my target market so that they see what I'm doing, they want to work with me? How can I do a free group that'll get more eyeballs on what we're doing, that I can connect with more people? And it just forces me to evolve a little bit and to grow. And I think those seasons are then when you have a big jump following them. So anytime I have to dig in and really grind to hit my non-negotiables, I always have a high after that fact, because you build momentum and you build traction and you have that just that push behind you. So as far as that goes, yes, I've had slumps, but never where I've just kind of like let it beat me, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? But I think that's kind of where having your non-negotiables is so important, because if you don't have like, and I know some people are weird about Success Club, or at least I know some of my coaches are like, they're like, oh, I want to help people, but don't you dare push Success Club on me. Like, don't tell me I have to sell some stuff. And I'm like, no, all that's doing is that's drawing a line in the sand saying, however you have to do it, you're going to help at least 3 people. So when you have that non-negotiable, I will help 3 people no matter what, obviously your actions are going to look a lot different than if you're like, I'd love to help 3 people, but if it doesn't happen, then oh well. Then all of a sudden, like when life happens, you're going to take all the outs you can find, because that's easier and it's probably more fun. But when you have those non-negotiable things, whether that's adding 2 coaches a week, like Rachel was saying, hitting Success Club 10, whatever those are, you have to set those, and they have to be like, you have to be your own best accountability partner. Like you have to hold yourself to the crap that you say you're going to do every single month. And when you have that much accountability to yourself, you're going to do the crap it takes to make it happen. Because otherwise on the 30th, you're going to be stressed and frazzled and frustrated, and no one wants to do that. So you might as well just do the crap it takes the whole month so that you don't have to feel that stress and friction on the last day of the month. half my team does like the last day of the month hustle thing. And I'm like, why? What are you doing? I'm like, you have 29 other days to work hard. So I don't understand it. But if that's you, don't do that. Make like the 15th your last day of the month. So you do that hustle on the 15th. But yeah, so that's, I don't know. That was like a long answer for that question. Hopefully that helps. You bet.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How do you, having an 8-month-old, deal with like waking up in the middle of the night and lack of sleep and things like that? My son is teething now, and it's ironic. He wakes up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and now I'm finding myself, I'm like, okay, well, I nursed him. I'm just going to put him back down and just stay up. I work full time after, and I found today, like, I'm exhausted. Like, I could have fallen asleep at 8. So kind of managing your time with a little one and making sure you're sleeping and taking care of yourself so you don't get run down.
Yeah, the struggle is real for sure. And I laugh because Finley is teething right now, and it's like some days are miserable. I'm like, oh my gosh, you are a monster, like different human. So I feel sorry for teething babies and moms. But for me, I don't know, like, well, one, she sleeps with us. So she nurses like all night long, and we're barely just transitioning her to the crib. Mm-hmm. And so even on the nights that are like long and I'm up a lot and I feel totally run down, I always feel better if I continue to stick with my routine of waking up at 5:20, doing my personal development miracle morning, getting my workout in. Always. No matter how tired I am, when the alarm goes off, I always feel better afterwards. And that's just, so that helps me because there have been mornings when I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I'm just going to sleep in. I'll get my workout in later. And the days are just chaos. Like, they just don't go well. So I just know myself enough that if I can just stick to as normal of my routine as I can, no matter what my sleep look like throughout the day, I'm just going to feel better and I'm going to be a better mom. So that doesn't really help as far as like making sure, obviously you want to make sure you get enough sleep and all those things, but I don't know. Taking care of me helps me more than getting like an extra hour of sleep for me. And so it just wasn't worth it to like stay in bed for another hour versus not getting a workout in or whatever. And that was at the beginning. I mean, like, it's easier now because she sleeps better now, but at the beginning when they're up like a lot, I would get messages all the time from women that were like, how are you working out at 6 a.m? Or how are you doing this? Like, your baby is waking up too much, but that was always the answer. I feel so much better if I just wake up and work out and fill my cup. And then if I need to go to bed at 8 the next night or whatever, I will. But taking care of me first always makes me feel better. So that's always just kind of been that, like, I need this for me. I'm going to make it happen no matter what the night looks like type of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hope your baby feels better.
Thanks.
I love that because you just always choose to control what you can control. And I think that shows in your business, obviously, Micah. And yeah, it's one of those things like, okay, well, you always have two choices. Like, I can just throw it all away, or I can just continue doing what I know will, I can choose that. And yeah, that's me. Yeah. It's not, I'm sure some days it's not an easy decision, but it's one that obviously pays off.
For sure.
Who else has a question? Just unmute yourself and start talking if you have a question. We have like 5 minutes, so probably like 1 or 2 more questions.
If you had to pick 3 things that you would do every single day for your business, what would those 3 things be? If you could only do 3.
Oh, geez. Like, if you only did 3 things every day, or if, like, on a busy day, you could only do 3 things, what would they be?
Yeah, if you had, like, a busy day and you could only do 3 things, what would those 3 things be?
Are like working out and personal development, are those part of those? Because
No.
those would
No, that's kind of like your own crap that you got to do anyway. But like
okay, so for your
business-wise.
business,
Yeah, your business.
I would, you know what? Gosh, I don't know, because I have really busy days where I'm like, and okay, so on really busy days, if I'm like not in my, like doing a power hour or whatever, I make sure I at least get a post up on social media. I make sure I at least clear my inbox and answer anything, emails, messages, whatever. And what else? Those are like the two businessy things that, like, no matter what, on a really busy day, like there's days I don't send invites. There's days that, like, when life happens, I'm not doing those really essential things. But as long as I'm showing up on social, clearing my inbox, I'm like, okay, I'm at least staying ahead of the game and not getting behind. So those are probably the two tips for super busy days. But don't be super busy every day, or else your business will suck.
That's so true. Like, you have to do your other crap too.
Yeah.
Danielle put in the chat, how many new messages do you tell your coaches to be sending a day? Like connects, invites, like do you tell them to shoot for a number?
I don't really tell them a number. I'm really big on expanding and connecting. I'm like, so if you haven't seen my Do Your Crap training that I did, it's all about filling that funnel, right? So
I'll share it with you guys. It's so good.
So you have to do like, so my biggest thing is you have to expand in a massive way so that you can connect in a massive way so that you can invite and then so you can follow up. And that funnel is what continues to flow and like continues to bring new people in so you can continue to do the stuff, right? So I make sure my coaches are expanding in a big way so they can connect in a very big way so they always can feel authentic in their invites. But I don't give them a specific number because their goals are super different. Like for someone shooting for 5-star by the end of the year, that's going to look a lot different than someone who's shooting for emeralds. You know what I mean? So it totally just depends. But I would say if you're just like wanting to hit Success Club, wanting to grow kind of gradually, like you should at least be sending 5 to 10 invites a day, at least. And that means you should be connecting with 50-ish people a day, connecting as in like liking, commenting, interacting on their stories, whatever. And then expanding, I don't know if you guys use like an expanding service or if you're manually expanding or whatever, you should be expanding hopefully more than 50 a day. So that's kind of like a base as far as what that looks like.
I think that's awesome. People like tangible numbers, as you know. Yeah, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Is there a specific time in your business that you can pinpoint that you felt like you really took off? Or do you feel like it was just doing your stuff every day gradually?
Yeah, I don't really feel like there was a turning point. It was all kind of gradual. But I feel like what really took my business to the next level was when I dug into leadership, personal development, because you can get challengers and you can get coaches and whatever, but until you can really help your coaches have success, your business grows at like a snail's pace. Like if you're doing all the work, your income growth is going to be very slow. Your volume growth is going to be very slow. But when you can build leaders and you can help your coaches have success, that's when you're going to see huge jumps in your income and in your volume and in all those things that are fun. So when I probably like 6 months into my business, I was like, crap, I got to figure out how to help my coaches like have more success and really do this. So that's when I dug into Leadership PD hardcore. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership is like my favorite. I've read it like 3 different times. I've listened to it multiple times. That's my go-to. I just feel like it's like gospel for leadership. And then another favorite PD, obviously Brooke Castillo's Life Coach School. I love her podcast. recommend it to all my coaches. This book is another one that I talked about at Josh's thing. I love this book. This one was a game changer for me on really just like figuring out how to be intentional and disciplined with the most important things. So yeah, those are probably my favorites. Essentialism. I'll show you. See? Greg McGowan. It's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for doing an evening call. And we are so thankful that you were here and just shared, that there is no secret sauce to, like, you guys heard me give all of her accolades at the beginning, and she's like just telling you, like, she's like, I just do my stuff, like, and just like, I think I love hearing from people, like, I mean, just people that have done that. That's inspiring to me, because then they're like, yeah, there is no secret sauce. Like, I'm just doing the stuff. We can all do the stuff. It's just a choice every day. So thank you so much, Micah. So grateful. I'm excited to repay the favor this week. And Samantha, you are our winner for being on live, the personal development. So shoot me a message with your address, and I'll get that shipped out to you. Amazon Prime will be to you in 2 days. Like, I feel like a spokesperson for Amazon Prime, like, half the time in my stories. But I'm like, where's Amazon Prime? Like, they need to sponsor me. But anyways, have a great night, guys, and you can hop back on live. I'm gonna run to the bathroom, but then we can do questions. Bye. Have a great night, guys.